Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome to my channel update for December 2017, the last one of 2017. First of all, this is where, for those of you who have just joined me since last month, first of all, welcome. I'm glad you subscribed, and I'm glad that you are taking the time to enjoy my videos. I hope I continue to be entertaining on into 2018. This is where I go ahead and address what I've been doing over the past month and what my plans are for the next one. More broadly, though, since this is the last one of the year, I'll go ahead and take a look at 2017 in general. In terms of, the view and so on and so forth, I said I was not going to do these informal camera reviews that much, but you know what? Let's do it. I'm running late on time. This is like officially now the last day of December. I want to apologize for my Patreons because I'm going to put this up and then I'm going to put it live like the same day. Usually my patrons get stuff for at least a couple days before I put it up, but I've just been stacked to the max. I'm going to make it up to you patrons, and I am going to actually, once I'm done with my channel update, I'm just going to ramble at you for about a couple things and maybe do like one of those informal vlogs like I did before. People seem to like that. I've got some stuff to talk about, so we'll do that after this. But getting back to my main channel, it's been a good year for me. I could have, as I said, it could have been better, but all in all, I'm very pleased with the direction that my channel is going. I'm getting subscribers at a relatively modest but steady rate. I am getting out content at an unfortunately relatively modest rate. I have not been able to make my content goals for like 3 months in a row, and I blame that a lot on just my scheduling. I'm still picking up after a lot of stuff going on, and I am still handling a lot of non-channel business that takes a lot of my time up. But hopefully, the diversity of videos and content has kept some people watching, I hope. The last month, I mostly focused on getting Divinity Original Sin out. I gotta be, straight up, I am going to go back to Underrail. I intend to finish it. I need to refamiliarize myself with it. I took some time off of it because it was just getting to the point where it was just becoming a stress to sit down and record it. So I've taken more time off of that than I intended to. But I will be getting back to it. I'm going to be plugging away with Divinity Original Sin. I'm guessing, just a rough guesstimate, I'm almost done with the first area, and I think there's 4 or maybe 5 areas. I think I'd have to check on that because I don't really look at the walkthrough on these games, but unless I'm really stuck on something. But occasionally, with a game that's already a couple years old, sometimes you just can't help but run across stuff when you're trying to look up, hey, where to buy stuff here, and then you look and there's 4 chapters. Okay, whatever. So I'm looking at maybe a couple more months on that. It has taken me this long to get this far in Divinity Original Sin, mostly just because I haven't been able to put videos up consistently like I wanted to. Now that I'm getting back into that flow, it's, hopefully it'll continue that way. I'm going to continue with the RPG News Roundup weekly. Indie Game Friday will return not the first week in January, but maybe second or third week in January, and we'll go back to the weekly schedule on that. Once again, I just mostly had to take time off from that. Although, with Indie Game Friday, it's different. It's because I have a certain level of quality in terms of indie role-playing games that I really want to cover for Indie Game Friday, and I've talked about this before. If I have a hard time getting something positive to say about a particular program, I just won't review it. If it's nothing but complete trash, I won't review it. Or if it's generic to the point where I'm barely able to play it and tell it apart from other things, then I also will probably not review it. Last year, I had a bunch of stuff queued up to the end of, or not last year, this year, I had a bunch of stuff queued up toward the end of the year to cover, and none of it reached that minimum bar. I mean, I was recording hours of games, and I was like, oh man, this is either it just doesn't stand out or whatever. But given a couple weeks off and stuff's accrued, and I've looked back and found some older role-playing games which I will cover. I did that first look on Pathfinder Kingmaker. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Pathfinder Kingmaker in my later talk. I enjoyed the alpha from what I saw. I can see it has great potential. I'm enjoying the graphics. The UI needs work, though I think they're working on that. Remember, this is still early alpha build on that. I've seen a couple other people that have been covering earlier alpha builds. I like how it's shaping up. I think I'm going to like where it's going. I may go ahead and do another video on that a little bit later if I can. I'm not sure how the alpha stuff shakes down on that, but I'll probably do another video on that a little bit later, like with a more formal review. I think I said that at the end of that first look. Anyway, back to my initial point. It seems a lot of people like the first look stuff, or at least not a whole lot of people, but a decent number of people like the first look stuff. So I'm going to try and get more of that going on. The real issue with the first look stuff is that in the world that we live in right now, the line between a full release and a early access release is increasingly thin. So a lot of times, like, I'll go ahead and cover something for my year-end roundup, and even I will be astonished and say, what, that game released this year? I thought it released last year. And that's because it hits that early access, and that's when a lot of the hype happens. And then when the actual release comes out, it's such a gradual instance on a lot of these things that it just kind of like goes off with a whimper. Excuse me. So I need to stop saying so at the end of the day, with Indie Game Friday, my limit on that it must be fully released does prevent me from covering some of the stuff that I ordinarily would cover, and First Look would be the place I would cover it. Unfortunately, some of the stuff is on early access for so long that it's really not a first look. Like, I've got one that I play from time to time that was recommended to me, Keeper RL, and I will do a first look on that, even though it's been out for a long time in early access. It's because it's still under development. It's under active development. It probably will be for some time. But there's games like that, and they come out as like Darkest Dungeon. It hit early access, and it was out for a long time before it hit official release. So I'm going to try and mix in some more early access. It's just hard to define some of this stuff, because I like compartmentalizing my videos. Like, I'm going to be doing full reviews of some stuff. In the coming months, I've got some more Shelf of Many Things planned. Next thing I'm going to cover on Shelf of Many Things, well, the first thing I'm going to cover on Shelf of Many Things, the official thing I'm doing. And thank you, by the way, those of you who gave me feedback on that. I'm going to be going with a similar format to the one I did for Dungeons and Delvers. I'm sorry, I was looking it up. I was looking at the book. I'm going to do a similar format to that. First one I'm going to cover is Swords of Wizardry Continual Light, and I've mentioned this. I've already got scripted and recorded. I'm just literally editing it right now, and it should be up shortly. Next one I'm going to cover after that is I was given Midland's campaign setting for Low Fantasy Gaming. I'm gonna do a review of that on Shelf of Many Things. It's gonna be my second one. It's gonna be a little bit because it's a large book. I mean, it is a really significant. It's like about 300 something pages. It's like a decent setting book. So I don't have the hard copy for it. I've got the PDF for it, but I will be viewing that, and I will be reviewing that. And I'm sure the people from Low Fantasy Gaming will like to hear that. I think I've covered their stuff before. I like their system. I don't use it as much as some other systems. In fact, I've only used it like a handful of times. But I do like it. I mean, it serves its purpose pretty well. But yeah, that's the kind of thing that you can see going forward. And I'm thinking after that, I may do for Shelf of Many Things. That will take us into February, because I'm going to do Shelf of Many Things like twice a month. I think I may do like Stars Without Number revised edition on that. I was going to do the original version, and then revised edition came out like this last week, so I may go ahead and cover that. But yeah, we've got a lot of good stuff going forward. Finishing Divinity, well, continuing with Divinity Originals, picking up Underrail, which I said I was going to pick up like a couple months ago, but I will now that I'm actually getting time to sit down. Oh my God, I tell you what, a lot of my patrons, well, not a lot of my patrons. I've got several few patrons. I've got a couple people that actually donated quite a bit to me outside of Patreon, which thank you very much. I wish there was some way to give you direct access to a lot of the stuff that the patrons do without shuffling stuff around. To the point where it's unworkable, because you guys deserve it. The two of you that donated to me off that. Thanks to you, I was able to get this camera. Thanks to you, I'm getting a new mic for my camera, which right now I'm still recording off my Blue Yeti for these things. Where was I? Oh yeah. And a lot of people thought, hey, he's basically, I can tell. He's trying to scrape together some money. I don't make a whole lot of money on this channel. But no, the reason why my videos fell down the last couple months is just time. Like, I wish there was some way. I wish there was some way to do a Patreon, but for like hours in a day. Because man, I am working. I'm up till like 4 or 5 now daily, 4 or 5 in the morning daily, working on videos right now, and I don't have a lot to show for it right now, but going forward I will. hopefully. Yeah, but now I've actually got a chance to sit down and work on the things. Then yeah, hopefully we'll see more stuff coming out. As I said, my end goal has always been at least 4 YouTube, or at least 4 Let's Plays a week, and at least 4 other stuff a week. So I have no idea if I'm going to meet that in January, but I'm going to try. But then again, I've been saying I'm going to try it the last 2-3 months, so who knows? I'm genuinely going to try. That's all I can offer, is genuine try. But I will be doing that. Some of the other things for Tabletops and Taverns, the next one I'm gonna create like a campaign, not a really intense one, but I'm gonna create an adventure. I'm gonna create a linking campaign, and I'm gonna show, like, from a DM's point of view, how to make a campaign. And I know this has been done on YouTube a lot, but I'm gonna try and aim it for the very, very basic newbie in terms of just rule of thumb type stuff. And I'm going to try and veer away from like the mathematical balance that some people aim for when they're talking about how to design adventures for new people, or the 5-room dungeon, which is interesting, an interesting concept in theory. But I'm going to try to make like an actual workable adventure from scratch, and then basically taught people how. I will be using 5th edition. I was intending. I was split between using that or something old school like Axe or Swords and Wizardry or something. But I will be doing that, and I will be showing like the basics of how to make a Dungeons and Dragons character, 5th edition. And I've already covered a little bit of that in the past, but it'll be like a step by step. Like basically, next Tabletops and Taverns series is like tutorial level. And then I will run a game and do like DM's notes. Like, this is, what you need to look for when you're running a setting. And those of you who have seen my live play stuff probably understand that even though I talk a big game on DMing, a lot of times when I'm DMing, I am fumbling for notes and stuff. It's like I have written videos where I will look you in the eye and say, preparation is key for dungeon mastering. And then when I actually sit down to run them, I'm like, I haven't prepared. A lot of that's just due to schedule, but this for the tutorial, I will be doing a proper preparation and everything to just basically show you the optimal way to do that, or not the optimal, but the optimal way for a new person to do it. And hopefully that'll help some people. I hope it'll help some people. RPG News Roundup, not RPG News Roundup, because that RPG News Roundup is no. RPG story time. I've got a couple stories. I'm torn because like half of me wants to just tell them to the like cover them in vlogs, but I'll try and make a couple RPG story times like full on videos. I know a lot of people. I know a couple people like them. They get a. I don't. None of my videos get a huge amount of views except for like the old. You know what's odd is the old school Revolution stuff and the OSR focused stuff that I do gets the most views out of all my stuff, and yet I don't really consider myself an OSR person, and I wish I was. I like the old school. Like a lot of people online that play with me consider me old school in terms of how I run things and such. I'm a fan of the genre, but I don't consider myself enough of an expert. Yeah, me, not an expert on old school stuff. I don't consider myself enough of an expert to really consider myself like part of that whole niche thing. Wow, I have really diverged. I like got off on a random tangent. Anyway, some more RPG storytime stuff will be coming in. That's like in terms of views, that's because it gets quite a few views on my channel too. RPG story time. Yeah, I am falling all over the place here. Live play sessions. I've got something like 60 hours at this point. Like 60 hours of just tabletop gaming, online tabletop gaming recorded, and ready to put up. And I was going to put Goblin Gears, for those who were fans of it, may be picking up again. I've been in talks with the two people that were involved, and we're starting to look at some schedules matching up again. In fact, they were both together in another game I ran recently. I ran an AD&D 2nd Edition game, and while that one may not continue very long, I hope it does. But while that one may not continue very long, that did get me in conversations with them to go ahead and restart Goblin Gears where we left off. I just got to find my notes and everything. My patrons will know I did a White Plume Mountain session, and it was actually part of a thing where I was going to run these people through like a series of dungeons, and I've got, and they weren't dungeons of my creation. They were like, basically I did White Plume Mountain from the Tales of the Yawning Portal book, and then I took the same group and I just moved them immediately to Tomb of the Scorpion Prince, which is kind of a lair from Kobold Press. They did like this book of, I think it's in Book of Lairs. I'm not sure. I'll have to check which one I got it from. I don't have the print versions. It's why I buy like as many books as I have, and as much as I prefer like hardback books, just because I personally read them faster with my old man eyes. I do have quite a number of PDFs I purchased, and I think it was in Book of Lairs. I'm not. It might have been in their Adventure Compendium. Anyway, point of the matter is, I ran it for my group. They liked it. They didn't like. Funnily enough, they didn't like the Kobold Press monsters. I love the Kobold Press monsters, even though I don't usually like a lot of stuff from Kobold Press. I love stuff from Tome of Beasts, and I intend to get their Creature Codex when it comes out. I didn't back it. I rarely back Kickstarters. In fact, I can only count like 2 or 3 I've ever backed. But I do intend to purchase their Creature Codex when it comes out sometime late next year. I like them because a lot of their creatures have like really surprise, like out of nowhere abilities. So somebody will be walking along and they'll be fighting this creature, and it's all like, oh, just a standard creature, just a little bit light on the damage, and then all of a sudden this ability just comes out of just the blue and obliterates them, and they're like, whoa! And everybody gets in a panic, and I really kind of sadistic of me, but I really like that, and the look of panic it causes, and really it kind of helps drive the point home is that adventuring for these characters is a dangerous profession, and they need to be careful. They don't need to view it as a video game grinding along and stuff. Anyway, man, again, I veered off. I got distracted. I need to save this for my rambling afterwards. Yeah, I've got some more of those recorded. They finished off Tomb of the Scorpion Prince, and then I did something out of one of the Quests of Doom books. It was like the Sorcerer's Tower or whatever, and we got through that dungeon crawl, and it was hilarious. I need to put this one up because there was a trap in there that they all in a row rolled wands on. The entire, well, not wands, but none of them rolled like above a 4 on this trap. And like it was a total party wipe, but it was in a way that they were like really disappointed, and so I made up some Deus Ex Machina to pull them out, just so that they could finish the adventure. And then they got all the way through the adventure, like all the way to the very last battle, and then like half of my group had to break and go their various ways for a couple of weeks. And they've since reconvened, but we haven't finished the main battle because they basically got folded into another group. So if I manage to corral them together and finish that final battle, then I'll be putting that one up. And then after that, I've got Tomb of Annihilation I'm running for them. And I've got like a 5 to 6 person group for that one. And they will be, I will be putting that one up, and I'm making a few changes to it. I'm kind of running it kind of like sandboxy, like more old school sandboxy than it was really designed for, I guess. And I will be putting that one up at some point. And then I've got my patron games, and my patron games currently have, they vary between about 2 or 3 people, and 6 of my patrons qualify to be in that game like automatically. And honestly, it's open to any of my patrons, and I really need to start putting that up because I've got a fair number of those sessions lined up. And on that one, I'm running like this old school campaign I designed called Grim Fortune Citadel, which is basically a mega dungeon, and we are months into the game, and they have only just arrived at the mega dungeon because they kind of started off at this capital and kind of wound their way up. And got into adventures here and there trying to build up power, and they've only just got to like the main mega dungeon. So I may begin posting that. It's going to be heavily edited because quite frankly, I get a lot of random business during the day when I'm trying to run it, which is why you don't see me streaming it. In fact, it's why you don't see me streaming a lot is because my people who play with me will attest. I can be sitting here anywhere short of midnight, and the phone will be ringing like every 5 minutes, disrupting whatever I'm doing. So I'll get those up. Expect to see more of those. What else for my roundup? Oh, not in January. Well, I can't say that. I may start it in January, but sometime next year I'm going to start like a general viewer RPG game. And I'm aiming for the weekend, although it may be during the weekdays sometime. I will try and put an announcement out. I know I've had several people ask me about this. And a lot of it's going to be like scheduling, and then some of it's going to be like equipment and such. But I will be doing, it'll either be 5th edition or it might be something old school like Swords and Wizardry or something. It depends on what the feedback is. In fact, if you got any feedback, I'll try and throw a poll or something up here that would you be interested in a viewer game, and if either viewing it or participating in it, just leave me a comment in the description below. And I'll try and get some sort of poll up where I can ask you what kind of system would you like to see in a viewer game, and then I'll try and make that happen. Yeah, I know it's more stuff on my plate, but if I'm going to be running D&D anyway, I may as well let you guys watch it. I enjoy the feedback that I get on that stuff. It may not be D&D. It may be Swords and Wizardry. It may be some old school thing off the wall. Whatever. Anyway, that's enough about what's happening. Oh, general 2017. I got equipment upgrades this year. I got computer upgrades this year. I've managed to focus my videos into particular niches, and I've seen a subscriber growth. I started the year of 2017 with about, I want to say 800, and I've got 1350 something right now, which is not it's not huge amounts of growth, but it's decent, modest, continual growth. And I figure if I continue with that next year, hopefully a little bit better, maybe if I start getting everything on track, then we may be seeing this go places. I know I've got a niche channel here. I may have to do a video just to explain why I cover both tabletop and computer role-playing games sometime. Anyway, I've been really satisfied with how the channel's been going. I am dissatisfied with my ability to get videos up, which I will fix. I say again and again, but anyway. But hopefully 2018 will be an even better year. I look forward to hearing about your feedback. I look forward to making new content for you. Here's to the future. This has been the RPG Crawler with my December 2017 channel update. If you like what you've seen, remember to leave a like. Comment if you've got feedback in. This is the one that I get to take a look at all my general feedback for the month. And subscribe for more RPG content, both tabletop and computer. If you're feeling particularly generous, you can check out my Patreon at patreon.com/rpgcrawler. I use the proceeds from that to go ahead and buy new equipment and to pick up things to review, because I don't get review copies for nearly everything that I review. Until next time, take care and goodbye.